What up, world? How y'all doing? So, we're doing a little something different. We're going to get the podcast back up and rolling, but it ain't deep dive. Welcome to Inside the Hive, where this is going to be mainly sports. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to do what I know best, and that's sports, and there's no way around it. So, welcome to Inside the Hive, where we're going to break down everything and anything about sports. First thing we're going to get into Inside the Hive today, we're going to get straight into it. Clearly see, I root for the Carolina Panthers. We're going to talk about their 2024 season and how most of y'all need to give Bryce Young the biggest apology letter in the world. I personally wanted Bryce Young from the minute we traded up to get the first overall pick. I'm like, I want Young. I didn't want CJ. I didn't want anyone else. I wanted Bryce Young. I wanted the Alabama alum quarterback. That's who I wanted. So Bryce Young has been my pick since day one. Again, I would have supported CJ Stroud if it was him come back, come draft day. But it ended up being Bryce Young, and that was my quarterback. I supported him. Now I'm going to sit here and say losing sucks. And the past two seasons going a combined, 7? We went 5-12 this year. That's 17. So add the other 2 from last year, 7. And then the other 15. So you got 7. So 22. 7 and 27 in the past 2 years. Yeah, losing sucks. Don't get me wrong. Every franchise hates losing. But there's a bright side to 2025, and we've seen it the past couple weeks. We started at 0-2. Yes, we benched Bryce Young. It probably saved his career. We beat the Raiders. I know Andy Dalton didn't, continue winning. Then he got hurt, and Bryce Young was put back into the starting role. Now, we can break down the last couple weeks, and we can easily could have been a lot better, but we ended up 5-12. So let's go back. We just beat the Falcons. Now, of course, by this point, the Falcons literally had nothing to play for. We went to overtime. We beat them. So there's your win. Last week, the defense just did not want, week 17, did not want to, it was not there. No defense. Can't say nothing about it. And we got blown out. Let's load up the Panthers schedule before we continue. So I get everything everything correct here. Should have had this up earlier, but it's okay. I'm trying to think, who was the week before? Was the week before the Cardinals? I want to say the week before was the Cardinals, and clearly beat the Cardinals. So let's try to find it here. Yeah, so defense didn't want to play. We had no defense. Week 16 was the Cardinals. We beat the Cardinals. Still let up 30 points. Key thing coming up in this draft, as we'll pick 8th, is defense. That's going to be key. We got some young guys that are I love the offense. I love the weapons we got. But the defense clearly needs to be addressed. I'm not going to sit here and say nothing. But we beat the Cardinals. Should have beat the Cowboys. Cowboys had nothing to play for, and we should have beat them. Almost beat the Eagles. Almost beat the Bucks. Almost beat the Chiefs. And then, of course, we had back-to-back wins against the Saints and the Giants. We almost beat the Bengals. Looking back on it. So defense is definitely going to be a key going into the offseason, but there is hope. I said it at the beginning of the season, this is going to be different culture, different vibes, and we start out on 2. We can just get completely torn apart by the Saints opening week. So I think the key thing is for 2025 draft and the free agency is defense. Defense will fix it. We get a better defense. Now, again, the schedule's up for this year. There's one team I think we definitely lose against, the Bills. That's it. Everything else can be a coin flip. It really all depends on if anyone gets hurt, if everyone stays healthy. We can't see what's going to happen. But defense is definitely going to be key going into the offseason for Carolina. And it's just that simple. We let up way too many points. We had the worst point differential in football. We didn't have the worst record, thank God. But we had the worst. We're almost minus 200, I believe. We had a 193. Don't quote me on that, but double check it. But I definitely know we had the worst point differential in football. We let up too many points. Yes, we won 5 games, but we let up too many points. Think about 2 of them were in overtime. We beat the Raiders, and we kind of let them get back into it, but we still beat them decent. Actually, 3 of our 5 wins came in overtime because we beat the Giants in overtime, beat the Cardinals in overtime, and beat the Falcons in overtime. We only beat the Raiders and Saints in regulation, and that Saints one was Bryce Young's first victory formation. So think about that. So we had 2 wins last year, both on field goals, and then Andy Dalton had the first win of 2024, and then the first win for Bryce Young was that Saints game, and then went back-to-back for the first. We won back-to-back games for the first time in years. So there's going to be some respect put on this team. No one's going to want to play them. Again, we'll see what 2025 brings. I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but they're going into this offseason, the mindset's clear. Winning football is coming back to Carolina. And if you think about it, so the 2015 season was our best year. So 10 years later, our 2025 season, let's repeat. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go 15-1, and even then, telling me you're taking down almost the whole league. But who knows? There's definitely some uncertainty. I can tell you, probably Baker and Tampa are gonna stay where they are. They're just gonna bolster. What is Derek Carr gonna still be a Saint? What's their quarterback situation like? They looked awful after the first couple weeks. I know the Falcons are cutting Kirk Cousins. That's gonna happen. Penix is their quarterback. I still hate that pick. It messed up. If you go back to the mock drafts and just look, there was no sign of them taking Penix. It kind of definitely threw everything off because it kind of actually it messed up the Raiders, because if Penix doesn't go there, Penix goes to the Raiders, and now the Falcons are stuck with Kirk Cousins and that massive contract, and the Raiders have their quarterback. So it kind of changes, it alters history. So we don't know how Penix is going to do in a full season. We don't know who the Saints are going to have. So, and we finished 3rd in the division just because we split with the Saints, and I don't know how the rest of it breaks down. But we ended up in 3rd because I was looking at the opponents who were playing Green Bay. I'm like, shouldn't we be playing the Bears? We were in last place. No, we came in 3rd. So we get Green Bay, we get Jacksonville, and we get the Cowboys. Those are the 3 kind of odd teams. So because we fell in 3rd. So instead of getting the Titans and the Bears and all that, we get 3rd and we get those. So, but we will see. I'm very hopeful for 2025. Look forward to the playoffs. Enjoy that, and then kind of take your ease off your mind on football and get into baseball, and then draft. We'll start talking about draft in April, and we just kind of wait for preseason to come back. I would love to get out to a game, to be honest, in 2025. I'm gonna have to wait till the schedule comes out and kind of plan it out and see when I want to go. But I do have some buddies. Actually, I want to see if Green Bay is home or away, because one of my buddies is a Green Bay. It doesn't look good. Where's the picture? It's away. Okay. Yeah, it's away. So, and I'm not going to Green Bay. Buffalo's home. That would be a nice one to go to. They do play the Patriots this year. Oh, they play the Jets. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my eye out for that Jet game. So if you're seeing this, like, this is one of my first videos of 2025. I have a lot to explain, and there's a lot to go into. So as you see me right now, this won't be my situation in a couple weeks. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. I should be able to go to that Jets game. I will figure out how to get to that Jets game. And I got a bunch of buddies that are Jets fans. So hopefully maybe we can get like a group thing going. But that's a key game to go to. I got family in New England or Boston area. So that's another one to go to. So I got 2 games possibly. I know they're on the road, but I would love to start checking off stadiums. And those would be the first 2. I have been to Buffalo. That's the only one I've been to. So, to get to a home game, I would have to look at the schedule once it comes out. So, I am optimistic going into 2025, and Carolina fans should be too. But those people that doubted doubted Bryce Young, start writing your apology letter. I was with him since day one. I don't got no apologies for nothing. I'm not going to say like losing sucks. Not all of it was on Bryce Young, because you look at last year when we went 2-15, Frank was not the answer, and that led to that led to losing. Yes, did we start out rough and did it look like it was going to be the same thing over? Yeah, but Canales did his job, did what was right. And, things took a turn. So, I was with Bryce Young. Yeah, did it suck when he was benched? It's like, this is the guy. But I understood it. And learning behind Andy Dalton, a veteran. I know he's been bounced around. I know he's been with Carolina for the last couple years. But he's a veteran. He has played playoff games. He's won big games. He knows. And to be honest, I think if you look at any other backup veteran quarterback that's out there, like Jimmy G now, I would prefer Andy Dalton to be teaching Bryce Young. And I think that's exactly what they did. They get along great. You can see it. And did Bryce Young look upset when he was benched? Yes. But Dalton got hurt. Not his fault that he got hurt. You got to blame the guy that crashed into him, and kind of threw Bryce Young back in. And yeah, the first few were rough, but I think one was the Broncos. I kept it close. Like, it was close. But when those back-to-back games, the momentum, you could feel the momentum changing. You win against the Saints, a division opponent, by 1. And you stop them on 4th down, and you go into victory. Then you go across the pond, you play the Giants, who destroyed their own draft lottery. They were awful, and my prediction was off, but that's another video for another time. You go in there, defense immediately gets the football, and we walk out of there with a win. You win 2 in a row, great feeling going by. Yes, you come home, you play the Chiefs, but you play them close. They were tied. Now, of course, you give Mahomes the ball with under 2 minutes. There's nothing you can do there. And they won. But they played them close. They played the Eagles close. They played the Bucks close. Like, they went to overtime. If Chuba doesn't fumble that ball, and I knew exactly what to do. They were in field goal range, and he was just trying to run the clock out, get the 4th down, and kick the field goal, and they would have won. Cannot blame Chuba there. But he's learned, because you saw it in the Arizona game. You can see him using both hands, holding on to that football, and making sure he didn't turn it over. And they just kind of let him run off those two big plays, and then right in the end zone. So there's hope in 2025 for Carolina fans. And I'm excited for the draft. 8th pick. I know we kind of, with this win, didn't really help ourselves. I was looking, some mock, you kind of like keep your eyes on the mock and like where you'd be. There was thoughts of possible, like where we were a few weeks ago. Like, we may not got one, but because we beat the Giants, and so we were not getting one no matter what, unless the Giants ended up winning, more games than us, which clearly wasn't happening. But you start to look at it, it's like, well, they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. We're sitting here like, we can get Travis Hunter, probably the best player in this draft. So you start looking at that. That would have been great. And you start falling, and then you see the Penn State guy. I don't know his name, but that was the next on the board. So we kind of fall out of that because he still ends up, like, it's close, but I think some other team will take him. But we'll see what happens. So yeah. I'm excited. And once the schedule comes out, we'll break down the schedule and kind of go from that point on. But other than that, this is your first Inside the Hive. We're going to keep this rolling. We're going to do the best we can. A lot of moving parts are going to be coming from myself personally, but we're going to try to work out this podcast. I love the deep dive. I really did. It focused on one topic. And it was just a bunch of random stuff. Like, yeah, did some of my episodes do well? Absolutely. But it's just like you're focusing on things and taking a deep dive in it. I'm just trying to give my own opinion. This is sports. This is what I know. This is what I went to college for. I spent thousands of dollars on. And this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to be in sports some way or the other. And easily can get people on. We figure it out and have much longer conversations on certain topics. So hope you all did enjoy. I know this won't reach everyone because this is straight up about Carolina, but if you're really into football and you're into it, I promise you'll enjoy it. So this has been Inside the Hive. I'll catch you all in the next one.